Man, what's up with you?
What in the world?
I can't call it, boy. I tell you this virtual stuff, boy. It's a mess.
I
I know
know,
you.
but it's like part of everything else you do, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like we gotta figure it out, man, because it's the way it's the way we moving right now.
Absolutely. I know. I've been trying to work on it, man. I've been trying.
You in the studio doing all of that. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right though. You're right. You're right. They be getting on me about it too. Like, well, this the way.
Yeah, this the way, bro. Because like your position, bro, as like let's just jump right into it, man. I don't want to take no time away from you telling your story, man, telling the stories, man. I'm just moved by like, the stuff I've been seeing you do. But the latest thing I saw, and I don't know why we only got a minute, Walt. Like that new track you uploaded, that video, it's hard, bro. The latest one you did, like you was walking downtown.
Oh no, I got the whole joint is on YouTube. You can pull it
Uh,
up. It's called Addicted.
I need to see the whole thing on Instagram too, bro.
I gotta put the So what's that? The how you show the whole video on Instagram? That's what you call it, the
So
Instagram movie.
soon as you upload the whole thing, it's gonna ask you, do you want to convert this to a story? So it'll be longer than a minute. Then you'll just say yeah, and then it'll make it a story. So it'll give you like a couple seconds free snippet, and then when you click on it, you can see the full thing. I think people engage with that more than just the 1 minute, is what I noticed.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna get it
So when
together
they
when I
give
get.
you, it's something about giving you that little snippet and then you click it. You've seen it before. So when they give you that little snippet and then you click it, it show you the whole full video if you want to like it. Like people engage in that more.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
IGTV, right?
huh? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
You got to put those on there, bro, because it's too raw for you not to. I mean, I like if you just dropping a snippet and you want to move on to YouTube, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? But after you done dropped it a while, then I would put it on there, especially if I got something else new cooking. You know what
For
I'm saying?
sure.
So I do like micro. So that 1 minute is like that's like a micro content. And then you want to push into the YouTube, of course, all day long. Like, yeah, that's important too, to do that too. We can have another sit down on strategy on anything you want help on, bro. You know what I'm saying? As far as that.
Yeah, that's important, man. I really do need that, man, because that's the really, man. I lack that, man. Like I really lack for others, like
No, I
for
mean, I hate to cut you off. Yeah, I know, because that's my area, bro. So that's where I come in at. Like, we just form at the top. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I got weaknesses. Everybody got weaknesses. And like, strengths is my end is like graphics, marketing, and sales. So, but we kind of like you remind me of myself so much, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was reaching out to you, because I wasn't even gonna do no more videos like this. Like I've been busy, man. I don't feel like doing it. But when I saw you, I was like, damn, I need to talk to Walt, bro. The story too incredible, man. So we ain't got a lot of time, man. Let's just start right now, man. Tell everybody who you are, man. And tell everybody where you from, bro. That's the
yeah.
one.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I go by the name Free Thinker Walt, man. Real name Walter Patton, from the Outhwaite community, man. The Downaway projects. Been there my whole life. 32 years old. Been down there 32 years. Fourth generation, man. Started from my great grandmother to my mother. To my grandmother to my mother. Now me. So I wear that. I wear that on my sleeves, man.
When did you use it? You got 86. That's when you was born.
87. Yep.
87. So you come in like, and that's important. That I'm glad you said that, like your generational gap, because when you come in the Reagan era, bro. You coming in the crack era, bro. I was 17, so I'm like 10 years older than you. I was 17, so you coming in the belly of the beast, man. So it's safe to say that you wasn't there yet to even see the projects before crack came in. So it was just stories for you. It's like how it was, and tell me how it was like coming up back then.
For us, yeah, man, like in the 90s, I come up in the well, you know, I was like, I said I got to start mingling around and getting out around like 95. I was young, man, and it was a lot of unity. It was a lot of families, like everybody mothers knew everybody mothers. We spent the night over everybody's house. We stayed out till the street lights came on, and even when them came on, they was like, y'all cool, just stay in the front yard. You know what I'm saying? Then we had the Lonnie Burton swimming pool where we went night swimming at, and you know the police would come through and try to get us out that joint, but man, we had great times, man. We, you know, everybody knew each other.
So unemployment is crazy. We got the full desert, man. We got people like I'm teaching down there too. So I
Yeah, for
kind of
sure.
that's where we kind of mixed that. Like I'm teaching at King Kennedy, man, and I'm like, you know, trying to make some changes down there, like using design. And for you to be down there and for you to do the things that you do, it's like you could have definitely just sold drugs. You could have definitely been on the page of everybody else. So, I mean, to me, you stand out as a leader. You stand out as like an advocate for changing and being a voice down there. And and from being and to be down there and from down there for 4 generations give you a lot of credibility and to give you leverage to be like, damn, Walt is the man that I want to be. Like we need more dudes like you. Can you talk about how you got into that transition, man? Like, how did you not fall and where did you get the wisdom from and where'd you get your, you know, where'd you get all of that from?
So, so to be honest, man, I did fall. I tried to sell drugs, man. You know, I was over there on Outhwaite Case Court, and we, you know, we beefed with King Kennedy, we beefed with 30th, and in 2005, man, one of the guys that I grew up with ended up shooting into a crowd full of kids, like 9, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, because of the beef we had with another neighborhood, which was 30th. And he ended up killing the 10-year-old. And a few months before that, that was 2005. A few months before that, my best friend Leonard Penson was murdered right in that same field across from Lonnie Burton. And they was he was from Garden Valley, and they was beefing with the King Kennedy projects. So I think that right there was what really changed my life forever. Just seeing people drop like that, and was like, man, that could have been me. And I went to prison in 2011. I came home at the end of 2012, and being in prison, just seeing, you know, just getting respect for who I was. Like I ain't have to be tough there. You know what I'm saying? Like all I could do was work out, read, and do, you know, the jail stuff. And I found out who I was, man, and I was being respected, not for trying to be in the streets. I was being respected just for being me, just giving people conversation and just my story. And when I came home, it was like, this is what I'm gonna do. Started writing poetry in the joint, and I was writing film. I was reading, I read Shizu. I was reading The Art of War. I read a lot of those one books, man, in jail. They're real popular, but it's like Dope Man's Wife, and
Mm,
it was just a lot of those different kind of books. But the one that I read the most, I read the 48 Laws of Power, but I didn't by
mm,
Green. I didn't
mm.
like it. It was more so of a manipulative book. It was like just showing people how to manipulate the weak. So I passed that book on. I'm like, I ain't really into that. Like I ain't really into extorting nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
Yeah.
that 48 Laws of Power showed me. But the book that I read the most was like Art of War, man. Just having tactics, being patient, being humble,
Mm.
and waiting things out. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just staying focused.
Yeah. So when you touch back down with this new attitude, you know, being different now. So you're a different dude. And I know that was not taken lightly by like your peers and stuff like that. Like, what Walt talking about? Like, man, we trying to get
Yeah.
to, you know, was you received like that or was it different?
No, it was real. When I came home, I started talking this free thinkers thing. And there was this guy named Leo Tolstoy, which was a Russian back in the 1800s. And that's who I originate. That's who started the free thinker mindset. So when I started to check them out, it was like a freedom of religion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just coming together for one common goal, which was positivity. So when I brought that home, I'm like, man, we all need to come together. Let's stop this hood beef. Let's stop doing this. Let's stop doing that. And Cass was like, all right. So when we tried it, I had shot a video called A Letter to George Zimmerman. And you know, we'll get into that too, man. Once you helping me out on my thing, man, you will see it. I had like over 100 people out in the projects of Unity.
Mm.
What happened was I started getting attention. I had got like over 100,000 views on the video, and it's sad because how we start to look at each other over some views and likes.
Mm.
So a lot of my homies like Walt getting all this attention, man. I ain't really, I ain't with it and forget it and got back on some street stuff. But I was trying to shift the culture
Mm.
by bringing unity. And so yeah, so after that, they just started looking at me crazy, man. And I don't even have a lot of friends like no more because of what I'm doing. So
Yeah. I think that's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? So let them know. So tell me some other stuff that you was doing, like talk about like police brutality and all of that stuff, man. I know you seen something and know something.
what
We done
the
all
color.
had been something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I was trying to like I said, I had failed before. I was trying to sell a little weed, man. And I never forget, I was outside on the strip, everybody outside, we on Case Court, and they had just blitzed the block. It was a guy named Terminator, and you had Veils. Those those the cemetery officers, man. So, I took off. I didn't even have a lot, man. I wasn't never doing a lot. That was the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I took off and the chased me through the projects, caught me. I ended up slowing down because I was smoking Black and Miles at the time. Lost my wind. Terminator caught me and choke slammed me all on the ground, man, and arrested me, gave me my first case. It was a trafficking. But I ain't even, at that time I wasn't knowledgeable of the law because I ain't even have enough to get a trafficking. So
Mm.
when I got in the courtroom, they just reduced it to a misdemeanor, and that was that. But I never really experienced like police brutality hands on. Like I never seen it. I
Gotcha.
seen harassment, the stereotype, but I never really seen like police brutality. Nobody get killed.
So, like, catch me up to speed right now, man. I know you're talking to the youth, man. Just give me some. Just tell me what you seeing right now and what you want right now. Like, what needs to
So
be
what
done right now, bro?
So right now, what I'm seeing, man, especially with this, this quote unquote pandemic, man, it's everybody being pushed to the streets, man. Like it ain't nothing to do. So, with no basketball hoops, man, the drill, no recs, because you at the Boys and Girls Club, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Schools closed, playgrounds closed. Man, these kids is really thugging, and it's been like 5 or 6 murders in the central community alone. I still stay on Carver Park. I stay right behind Friendly Inn. So it's been 5 murders, man, in the last like 2 or 3 months, and
Mm.
two of them been under the age of 16.
Mm.
You know what
Is
I'm
they still
saying?
beefing or what? Still beefing?
Yeah, man. But it's it's so crazy because I ain't really tied to the streets or nothing. I keep my ear out, but you don't know who beefing with who. It's just coming. It's just coming, and you don't
Is
want to
it
be caught up.
is
Yeah,
it
go
a
ahead.
lot? Is it a lot? Is it safe to say it's a lot of social media beefing, bro? It's a
Man,
lot of
social media has enhanced it. You know that, like just showing what you got, your location, people pulling up on you. That's the worst thing they could have did was add the location because people be coming.
mm.
Man, I just lost a close friend, man. 2 weeks ago out in Carver Park out there 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody had aired the location out. Some guys came through there, laid off some AKs, man. They found over 317 shell cases out there. Man, and from people that I was talking to, they're like, man, it could have been a mini massacre. They said it was only 80 people outside. It was like a block party. And he said the 317 shots could have killed everybody and some. So it was crazy, man. That was like 2 weeks ago. So we going through that now. He was a love guy in the projects. So I just see a lot of killing and violence increased since this pandemic has started, man.
Man, bro. I don't really know what to say, man. I mean, um, it's like tough to grapple with, like, cause you're trying to change. Like I've been in it, like trying to help people, man, and everybody not gonna make it, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I had to come to grips with that, so for me, it's like if I could help one person, like if I talk to 20 cats, if I could help one of those dudes, like or one of those sisters, man, then my job is done. That's how I feel. You feel the same way or what?
Yeah. I feel the same way. And that's
Because you
real.
do you do got a community around you, Walt. Like I seen them gravitate towards you. I seen them gravitate towards your story and all of that stuff. Talk about that. Like you do got some soldiers that's on the path, and you changing them. Can you talk about that success?
Yeah, I've been working with a lot of young guys, man, because like I said, I still stay behind Friendly Inn. So the crazy part about that is like if I'm on social media, if I'm at Friendly Inn or at the schools or whatever, and the kids who didn't see me at their school or at Friendly Inn or outside, man, they knock on my door. It's crazy because they'll ring my doorbell and be like, "What, man? What's up with the studio? What, man? What's up with the videos?" And like this happens daily. And just a recent incident, man. One of the young guys that I seen grow up, a few years younger than me, got into an incident with a young lady, and it was called rape. And the young lady's cousin, who house they were at, came ringing my doorbell early in the morning. Jay, like, such and such just touched her and did this, and I'm like, man, it's become overwhelming because I love the young homies and everybody being around me, but I'm too accessible. If you get what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
they're knocking on my door 1 a.m, man, 9 a.m, like all day and night. So it's like it's never ending. I'm
Yeah.
always on guard.
Yeah.
So
It's hard.
I love
Well,
it.
yeah, you got to move.
Yeah. I
Cause
love it, but it's a
the thing is, like, you got work to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be distracted. Like the bigger picture, man. Sometimes we got to sacrifice locations and being accessible and stuff because the bigger picture is more valuable. Like your life is more valuable too. So it's
Absolutely.
like the big picture of you saving the community and building up this stuff because stuff need to be built, man.
Absolutely.
I'm good with the protesting and all of that stuff, but we need like storefronts and we need houses, man. We need land, we need farms, we need all of this stuff, man. I'm more about tangible, hands-on action, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
cool to take a picture with the Black Lives Matter. I'm not knocking all of that. The protesting need to happen, but hands-on, tangible stuff like Shopify products, Young Bull making something. Like, so it's like the mindset like needs to change and needs to shift. Like, so, that's why I asked you what you was reading and stuff. You want to touch on any of that? I ain't really asked no question, but
No, like honestly, like no lie, man. I haven't been doing a lot of reading. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing the audio book. So I had I recently was tapped into the way of the superior man, and it was just touching on the feminine side and the masculine side. So I was just really trying to, you know what I'm saying? I was touching bases
being a
on the way.
boy. Like being a
Yeah,
boy is riding around playing loud music. And I read something else too. It's like being a boy, man, still like kind of still being a kid, man. I see older dudes kind of still doing that. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, you good. No, you good, because that's honest, like being a boy, man. A lot of the OGs, a lot of the guys I grew up with, they're not OGs. Like they're not taking the initiative to
Man,
mentor
talk
young
about it.
kids.
Talk about it.
So it's like I take a lot of flack because of that too. Because one of the OGs one day asked me what did I think the problem was, and I told him education, and I didn't mean like CMSD education. I mean life skills, like what we do in a youth program. If we teaching 501c3, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
how to go off about grants, how to trademark your name, LLC. All these young cats rapping, but don't have their ass cap, don't have their BMI. They ain't trademarking nothing. So in the youth program, that's what we teach. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I meant by education, on how to
Yeah.
create business for
Yeah.
ourselves, because I'm learning as well. And he kind of like brushed it off because he's one of the guys that's in the community giving these young guys the negativity. And
Yeah.
what I knew was the people that was in position to make a change is a part of the problem. And that's the thing, like, bro, like how we gonna make change and you a part of the problem and you the influence. So my thing was to push up on the influencers, you know what I'm saying? Because I came in the game right with them. So we all know each other, and it's like, oh, Walt taking money out of our mouth. And that's the kind of position that I'm in, because I'm bringing these young kids into these classes, taking them to the studio. And once we get them to the studio, because everybody rap, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get them to the studio, we pushing these classes on them. So now it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna record, but I'm gonna get the business part to it. And that's taking them out the streets. So the biggest problem, man, to me is that the influencers is a part of the problem.
Mm. Yeah, that's like crazy, man. Like, so 1970, probably like second grade, I flunked the second grade. So after that, that changed my whole attitude, and it kind of had me down a spiral of anger, resentment, not liking school, not liking to be taught, not liking to be like anything. So, it's part of that Black masculinity, and it's part of like us not really controlling anything, bro. So we kind of trust in a building full of racist, systematic, uh, all of that stuff. So systematic racism, all of this stuff is built into the school system at this like I want to say 75. Like I was like 5. You know what I'm saying? It's like we trust in these people to, to school and send our kids down there, and we're not really controlling what we learning down there. Like guys was like getting flunking like twice, getting held back twice. So for them to go through the whole school system, they be 20 years old. How is this gonna happen? Like, because it's like by the time you get out of adolescence, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna really be screwing up. Like that's the time when you really mess up is like adolescence. You're going through puberty, girls, like all these other outside influences, and you already been held back twice.
Mm.
Yeah, it's deep.
That's a lot. It's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
And I touch I kind of touch bases a lot on structural racism. The same thing you're talking about with the systemic issues. And that's what I really tap into. Like living in the projects my whole life, you witness and you've been down there and you down there. So you witness the structured racism firsthand, because living on a CMHA lease, you're not even allowed to have an LLC in your name. You get what I'm saying? So things like that. And then for a long time, you weren't even allowed to be married and being on the same lease. So you couldn't have a father and a mother in the household. They simply made too much income. So that was on the lease. And then now, we having out of 88% residents, out of 100% residents in the central community, only 12% is homeowners. So that means only 12% qualify to be business owners. So we ain't got no ownership down there. And that's all structured racism. You take away our grocery store, we the only community in Cleveland, Ohio with no grocery store. So you know what that's doing.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by fast food restaurants and gas stations. So man, that's why all the killing is increased, because it's structured. So the biggest thing is, how do we defeat the structure? And I think what you're doing, well, not I think, but what you're doing with the kids and far as technology, and what I'm doing with the kids far as the film and the traumatic experiences, is a part of breaking that structure. Because that's the structure, man. It's a dog. It's hard to defeat, but the only way we're going to defeat it is through education and life skills. And that goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah. That's dope. I'm glad you touched on that, bro. Man.
Man, I can go on with that structured racism because I
keep going. We need it. Keep going. Educate the people, man. This is what this is for, man.
I do a lot of studying and data research with a lot of different groups, and that's how I met you, because through Kim, and I was doing a lot of work with youth programming with her, and then that's when I ran into you, and you was dropping all the jewels, man. So I've been doing a lot of data research, and over, like, just in the central community, in this, over 60% of the people don't have transportation. So it's like, without a grocery store and no transportation, like, how we gonna eat? You feel what I'm saying? Besides the local gas station. And then over 50% of the people make less than $10,000 a year. So it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Our infant mortality rate in 2018, well, not now. So I can't really speak on it. I know it hasn't decreased much, but it was 22%. So 22% of our kids was dying before the age of 1 due to poor diet and distressful environments. So Central is really like the crazy area, and it's sad because we were the first public housing in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Let's touch on that. Let's touch on that a little bit. Like, everybody kind of migrated. I don't want to say everybody, but a majority of the Black folks migrated from the South to the North because the opportunities was better, and we was landed in the projects. The projects was like at the top of the hill of downtown, and that's the closest area to get to downtown because that's where most of the jobs were. So it was like a different place back then, like the 40s and the 50s is where I'm talking. My parents, my father's side kind of stayed down there, and they moved to Cleveland. Like, I want to say the 40s and 50s. Like, they moved to Cleveland in the Glenville area. So a lot of like that Glenville area, that's where most of the people came from, was down in the projects and all that stuff. It wasn't like that. So you know, they started changing stuff like you talking about, like can't have no men in the house. It's all women down there. Opportunities is limited. Like the situation, like this, like all of this stuff that like you talking about is like comes from frustration, man. Frustration and lack of opportunity brings anger. And when that brings anger and frustration, all that's going to lead to is like a Hennessy bottle and some weed and being mad and fighting and killing. That's all. That's all what that is. That is. You know what I'm saying? That's a system in itself. You want to talk on something?
Yeah, that's a that's a system within itself, man. And you talk, you,
I kind of talked about two things. I talked about migrating. If you want to touch on that, and talk about same with you, like your
um,
family.
yeah, my grandmother, she came down in the I want to say the '60s. Lula
Mm.
Patton, rest in peace. She came down in the '60s, and that's when it became predominantly African American because it started in the 1930s, like 35, and it was a lot of war veterans and a lot of white people that was in the projects. And in the 1960s is when they became, they redlined and gave those white folks, that money to get up out of there and get into the suburbs, which they call subsidized housing. And they funded them, and they didn't give us the funding. So they left us all really to die in the projects with no resources and moved them up top. So my grandmother was a product of redlining in the
Talk
1960s.
about hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. Like explain to the people what redlining is. They should know at this point, but go ahead.
Yeah, so redlining is just a target area, man, where where you put the oppressed, where you oppress the people, like with a low income. I'm gonna say the low income. You put all the low income in one area, and they put that red line on there to let you know these are the people that's oppressed, basically. So in the 1960s, we were redline. If that sums it up or whatnot.
Yeah. Keep going. I'm
Okay.
sorry to cut you off, bro. Keep going.
Oh, no, all good. And yeah, the 1960s, like I said, my grandmother was down there on Outhwaite, and she raised her family, man. My grandmother had about 10, 11 kids. She lost 2 of them in a fire. And just that, like my family's just kept growing and growing and growing from there. And I've been down there ever since, as far as that goes. And then what else you talked about? You said migrating.
Yeah. Oh, I talked about the system in itself with the frustration leading to the alcohol, leading to the smoking and all of that stuff, the fighting, the frustration, the anger, like,
Yeah,
being
that's
mistreated in school and all of that stuff. Talk about that.
like you said, that's a different conversation in itself. And just seeing it firsthand, substance abuse, man. I used to drink. I used to drink and smoke. So I haven't smoked since 2012, but I stopped drinking last year. And it was only because when I was working at Cleveland Clinic, I used to work every morning, right, Jay? So I get up for 7 years straight. When I came from prison, I worked there for like 6.5, 7 years straight, and I would work mornings. But when I resigned, I'm like, I'm gonna get into this community work. My community need me more than anything. So I resigned and I started coming out at the same time I would go to work, which was 6 a.m., 7 o'clock. And when I came out, Jay, man, it was so many people outside, man, just drinking beer, drinking 211s, flavor 211s. I mean, cans everywhere. And I will secretly go home and have a drink every night. Man, I seen that. I quit drinking instantly. I'm like, I can't be a part of this. No matter if I'm drinking, no matter what I'm drinking, I don't care if I'm drinking top shelf and they drinking a low class, I'm still drinking. So I'm like, I quit because in order for me to make the real change, I had to quit drinking. But I wouldn't have stopped drinking if I would have kept working that job because I didn't know how many people was getting drunk at 7, 8 in the morning. It's an epidemic, man. Our dollar stores that's really just supposed to sell dollar items and things for your house, they selling beer. Like I go to the dollar store, they got more beer than water. I'm like, wow. Like, so everybody posted up in the front of the dollar store drinking. Then right across the street, you got the Shell's gas station. They got beer. The Marathon, they ain't selling beer, but they good. They selling food, that negative food. But yeah, that's
Talk about, oh, man. Talk about spending all that money on that lottery too. That quick come up.
yeah. So that's the thing. I never was a gambler. I never went to I've been to the casino one time, and that was just a buffet. I just ate and let my dudes gamble. And, I just never was a gambler, so I'm not really into lottery. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really touch a lot on the lottery side.
Okay. Yeah.
I do see cats spending their life savings on lottery.
Yeah. Like, what do you need from us, Walt? Like, what can we do? Like, let's talk about some solutions, man. You know what I'm saying? We know the problems, man. We'll talk about that till the cows come home. What do you
Right.
need from us, Walt?
So solutions, man. Like I said, my solution is what I talked about as far as life skills and creating more resource centers and just resources to where we can really grab and learn and just learn about what we need. For as like even if it's real estate, even if it's 501c3, even if it's how to learn how to write a resume, tie a tie. We need more resources besides CMSD. And I think what you're doing is amazing. You know what I'm saying? They talk about, I read somebody that was talking about what you was doing at PNC. I kept running into meetings where they kept talking about Jamal Collins and how he was educated through technology. And I was like, wow. So that's like what you doing is what we need. You get what I'm saying? We need
Yeah.
more resources, man. We need more resources on how to create and provide for ourselves.
Yeah.
Period.
How can we, I'm sorry to cut you off. How can we find you, man? Are you doing some programming too? I seen you at the radio station and stuff like that.
Oh,
I seen you talking about music. Like you're doing a
man,
lot of stuff, man. Please,
I
please.
got some, man, because I will forget, Jamal. Like I do so much stuff, man. I will forget, and it's just like just trying to be that person that's creating those opportunities. But the radio station right now has been closed, due to the COVID. But I do a youth open mic from ages 5 and up, so we get a youth opportunity to speak on situations like this. So we'll
What's the
do
name of the radio station?
WOVU 90. What is that? 95.9.
Yeah. So what's the solution now we doing COVID? Is the program just shut down? I mean, how you navigating and moving around with COVID now?
Okay. Right. So now I'm on the streets. So now I'm hitting the streets. I'm pulling up. If you go on my YouTube channel, Walter Patton, you will see episodes called Ghetto Therapy, where I'm inside of El Dorado's barbershop doing the same interviews with a couple residents from Central. I'm on the streets. I just came off of 30th, like on Saturday, interviewing one of the OGs who just did 12 years in the feds. He came home now. He just want nothing but solutions. So I just been hitting the streets.
Dope. You was doing something with documentary too, yes?
Bridging the gap. That's what Kim Foreman with the One Garden Valley initiative we did for the last 2 years, which shows all the kids from all these projects that was beefing coming together doing hip hop and eating healthy down at Ridall.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to touch on, man?
Yeah, and right now, and one of another things, I'm Alicia Cortman, man. Your people, I partnered with her with doing the Feed the Soul. So during COVID, like I said, we're the only community without a grocery store, and over 60% of the people with no transportation. So what she did was create a food delivery service. So since they don't got transportation, we can go door to door and drop off these groceries. We partner with the Garden Valley Neighborhood House, which partners with the food bank up there on Lakeshore. So now we serving over 500 families in the central community by doing grocery delivery. So we've been doing that since April. Yeah, so I've been, man.
Nice.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Nice. That's beautiful. How can we find you, Walt? I know you touched on the Instagram and YouTube. You pushing the YouTube? All your content is on YouTube?
Yeah, all my content is on YouTube, man. And man, I can't wait till we sit down, man, and get some stuff together, man. Because man, I really need it. Like I really need it. I'm on
sure.
I'm everywhere, man.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram at Walter Patton _ Walter Patton WALTER PATTON _ Then I'm on Facebook with the same thing as Walter Patton. And it's crazy. You got to be careful, man. They've been hacking my pages too, man. So it's really only one page, but I got about 3 pages on Facebook that they keep.
Yeah, you got to quit clicking on them links, bro. You click on them links, you're gonna get hacked.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, you click on them links, especially because you working with the youth. The young bulls they all hacked up,
man.
So, because you want to follow them, you want them to follow you. You know what I'm saying? So you can stay in contact with them and stuff. And they get hacked because they don't know what they're doing. So then they send you a link like, look at this picture of you I found, Walt. So you click on the link.
Oh, man, I'm like, man. I just gotta adjust, man, because it's crazy. But so I got the Walter Patton Facebook, the Walter Patton Instagram, and my team page is Free Thinker Since '87 _team, and that's also on Instagram. Free Thinker Since '87 _team. And one last thing that I want to say: tomorrow, if any youth is on, or Jamal, if you got anything going tomorrow, man, I'll be at Friendly Inn tomorrow from 3 to 5. doing the Create Art Not Violence, which is a project that I created for the kids to decrease the violence in Central since COVID. And we'll be giving out a lot of different
What's the location on that?
Friendly Inn, 2386 Owen Road.
What road?
Owen Road.
Okay.
2386. Yep. So we'll be there with the Create Art Not Violence project, like I said, that I created to decrease the violence in the Central community amongst the kids. And we'll be giving away a lot of different games, board games. We'll be doing paint what a day in your community look like. So we'll have canvases, and we'll be giving out a lot of different games. I'll be doing that for 3 weeks at Friendly Inn every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks.
Dope. Dope, man. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All day, man. I appreciate you for working with me this morning, man. You know, it was tough. But I'm adjusted, man. That's why I was blessed to have a brother like you, man.
For sure. For sure.
Excuse me. Damn. Man, you don't see nobody follow me?
Ain't nobody following you.
Somebody follow me, you don't see it?
Ain't nobody following you.
So I'm tripping.
You tripping.
Never mind, don't even worry.
Hey. Welcome to Outhwaite.
I'm in the Outhwaite mind state, where our lead levels higher than our crime rate. Our lead levels is the reason for our crime rate. This where they rob you for your frames on a blind date. I'm from a place where our babies don't make it to one, because they die from miscarriages, maybe a gun. And we just go and grab a bottle or maybe a blunt, and pray our pain go away as quick as it come. I'm feeling numb. In the city, we pray for our daughters. Where I'm from, the corner stores sell more beer than water. And the bums there like they got a membership. The Arabs ain't giving back, ain't no commemorance. This epidemic is systemic, it's substance abuse. Ain't nobody got a job and liquor is juice. This way your friend will kill you like Bishop on juice. This way you get crucified for telling the truth. Ain't no excuse. The cops will shoot you with no hesitation. Majority of the men in jail or probation. And all our women leave cause they run out of patience. Cause they take away our freedom like our reparations. Outhwaite Homes.